my man?
Real quick.
Last one. We're going to give you a
year ago.
commercial real estate
Commercial
in New York.
real estate
you
in
went
New
into
York.
vlogging a year ago.
Yeah, I have a 4-person team now that's filming most of my brokers, so it's been tremendously effective. And my question to you is, how do I get more of my agents to actually get involved in the videos, in their social media?
You don't. You put pressure by showing that it's working, and then bring in new people to eat their lunch, and then got it?
Yeah, so either they have it or they don't, or they're
my
interested
biggest
or they're
thesis on all life at some level is you can't sell the unsellable. I sell nobody. It was back to me telling you just now, I don't give a fuck. Do it and let the pressure of the results create the narrative. When the winner right now in your commercial real estate starts seeing somebody that they think is a loser start doing more deals, they're gonna be like, wait a minute, fucking Rick, right?
Everybody's concerned with their image out in the universe. I mean, that's a big, they're not comfortable. And I think that's a big loss for them as a broker.
And I think what people are gonna understand, so do you know what my biggest theory is right now on all of this sexism and calling out everybody? Is in a 50-year macro, we're gonna all realize that we're all flawed and everything that's taboo will be far more accepted, and we're gonna be, I think this is one amazing step backwards that's gonna lead to 2 incredible steps forward, because there's not a single person in this room that doesn't do something that we think is taboo in society. So great, you don't sexually harass, but you have a drug problem. Oh great, you don't have a drug problem, but you have a gambling problem. You have infidelity, you're stealing. Like, there is no perfect human, and as we start exposing issue by issue because of the way the internet now works and you can't hide, Harvey Weinstein and Matt Lauer were protected by the media, by the 3 old white guys that killed all the investigative stories to ever see the day of life. Now, what the fuck are you doing right now? There's no hiding.
I'll show them this video, hopefully.
That's right. So here's the punchline. All the fuckers right there that aren't doing anything about it, they think they're being fancy and smart and holding up a facade, and they are literally in the process of becoming irrelevant. Show them that.
They're invisible.
They're fucking invisible.
Were those 4 people there before you started this, though?
Yeah, no, a year ago, I started holding this thing on my own.
Yeah.
About 3 other brokers that get it started doing the same.
Yeah.
So we pass our 3 cameras around a year ago, and we edit the footage and put it out on Fridays, so once a week. It's since grew to people coming to me, I can help you, I can do this better than you, young creatives, and now we have a 4-person team.
I like the idea that you talk about you bring in new blood, right? You bring in, because it's the older agents they don't need it, right? They knew you before. And like we have that on my team. Like I pushed against vlogs for a long time, and we just launched ours an hour ago at 1 o'clock, by the way. So yeah, you should subscribe. It's a new medium for me. I like being polished and edited in LA. It's great. And a lot of agents are like, I don't know. And so I just started bringing in more people who know me now, and they're all about it. And then the older agents do the same thing. They're like, Rick's not going to do anything, and then Rick closes a $30 million deal in Nolita, and they're like, all of a sudden, then I see them with like their flip cam from 10 years ago, and they're like, oh, I can do it too. I'm like, okay, great. Welcome to the party. Let's go.
In times of massive disruption, and please understand, the maturity of the internet right now is massive disruption. In times of massive disruption, success is your vulnerability. And that's what's happening. Got it? Like, I'm just obsessed with that. Love you guys. See ya. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here. We're going to do a little impromptu Ask Gary Vee show where we will give you guys a Q&A session here. I think the thing that I would highly recommend, I think a lot of people waste these opportunities. To me, the reason I wrote a book about Q&A, like have a show around Q&A, try to make every keynote I give now Q&A, which is hard because I think a lot of people think you mail in when you go Q&A and they want the show, but to me this is disproportionately more valuable. And so I would just highly recommend to deploy humility, to be honest with you. I think if you're gonna get this opportunity to like get a chance to ask a question, if that's interesting to you, that you should ask the question And if it's a very basic question by your standards and worry that other people will see it that way, it really just doesn't fucking matter. And so I highly recommend that you've got your shot now. We got some time. We'll probably be able to get to a lot of them. Ask your question, whether it's very, very, very detailed or philosophical or anything that you've picked up in
Shoot.
You know, the stuff that we've brought up. So let's fire away. Who's got a question? Yes, sir.
What are your thoughts on WhatsApp? I know that it's very famous international, especially like in Latin America.
Yes.
In Latin America, they're using the stories.
Yes.
Very, very big.
Yes.
I haven't heard much from you. I think I've sent you a couple messages.
Yep.
On your thoughts on it.
I think it's a huge missed opportunity for me in a global sense. I think the reason I haven't focused on it is I still tend to be overly, American focused and centric, and obviously WhatsApp is, if you look at the American usage, it's people that have family and friends in other places in the world. But to your point, not only the stories feature, but now kind of the messenger ads that can be run in there. I think if you're selling to a community that is grounded outside the US, LATAM, Asia, other places of that nature, I think it's very effective. I've got friends that are doing real business in New York, by the way, who are using WeChat, and they're Americanized, but there's a lot of Chinese and other, mainly mainland China, other parts of Asia users. So, look, I'm a big fan of fish where the fish are. I'm not going to be able to get to everything. I'm not going to be able to explain everything, but I think WhatsApp has real opportunity. I don't like talking about things that I don't know. I would give you answers about WhatsApp the way I think a lot of people here who are good would give you answers about other things. I talk about things that I've gotten really deep into. So look, I think there's a lot of things that can be done on WhatsApp. Since I haven't done them, I'm not as interested in talking about it, but I'm extremely aware watching others execute within it that there's a lot of attention there. And if I was in Southern California and skewing into that market, I definitely think there's opportunity. I think there's opportunities there. And then you take the values of Instagram stories and Snapchat and start building there, and then you start using your email. One thing, I'll give you a real tactic that just got to me too. If you decide to go into this content personal brand thing, just adding your Facebook page, your Instagram, and your YouTube link to the bottom of your email signature will start to build your, some of these things are so silly and basic, but yes.
Last question, do you see the two conflicting? I know they're owned by Facebook.
No.
During the real estate.
Let's pass it. We'll use people. This is not a fancy group. We'll pass the mic.
During the real estate panel, they were saying that we should try and sell ourselves rather than push listings on our business profiles. I have a personal and a business one for Instagram. Do you think I should just scrap the business one and just solely use the, Ryan's shaking his head, yeah.
Yeah, my team has a profile that we use only for real estate, right? And we use that basically to make sellers happy, and because they want social, and I can't on my personal social just put out the same, apartments every day. But you got to remember, what separates you from every other broker out there, right? It's not the property. Every broker has property. That's what they do, or they see property, or they sell property. It's you. And so people are going to want to work with you. I mean, do you have any idea what happened to my business when I married Amelia, right? And we put that on Bravo to all those people. People reach out to me now because they see me kissing Amelia in the morning and an Instagram story. And they're like, oh, he's a good guy, right? And people come up to me and they're like, I used to not like you, but if Amelia likes you, now I really like you. And they say that to me all the time. I don't know where she is. I can't see her, but oh, hey, babe, thanks so much. And so, it's that personal story that people get attracted to. And I say it all the time. People, they don't want to work with brokers. They want to work with people they could get a beer with, that they could be friends with, and who's also very knowledgeable and informed on what they're about to spend a lot of money on.
Do you post any listings on your personal page?
Here and there, depending.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that. I believe in that. The reason I wrote jab, 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 right hook I think there's always a time to go in for the ask,
Yeah.
not the demand. There's a lot of people who build personal brands, and all the content is to get you into the funnel to pay for the thing. That's a demand. I'm very comfortable to post tomorrow a picture of my wine club as an ask. If you went from 0 to 5 million on my teachings and you never paid anything for me and you didn't sign up for my cockamanian $55 a month wine club, it wouldn't bother me because I'm just asking. I'm not demanding. And I also think you have to be careful for what's next. Let me explain. Instagram, very important. I've been bringing it up. We didn't know stories was gonna come. I throw tons of right hooks on stories. I feel more comfortable there to go in for the ask, the swipe up, because there's 22 of them, I mix them in, it goes away, versus the main photo, I'm far more passive, but even there, once at every 40 posts, and like 2 posts ago is the book. It's the book, I'm in the zone. 6 days away. Please pre-order now or I will die. So I think first of all, everybody has a cadence of giving and asking. Give, and then ask. I really think that people get caught up in like, what's the rules? There are really not that many. It's more macro than should I have a business profile, a personal profile. I think you just people will always buy you. But guess what? Somebody might take a photo and somebody may see the fucking front yard and the picket fence and literally in their feed be like, that's what I always thought I was gonna have. My bigger problem is too many brokers only post their open house and listings, and then you look like a fucking kind of thing I can get free at the fucking, at the supermarket. Like, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Yes, sir.
So to that point, linking your professional with your personal, what's the fine line? What's the fine line in terms of content? How much personally should you be putting out there knowing that you potentially have a business audience that doesn't necessarily have the same taste as you, whether it be politics, entertainment?
So look, listen, this is very easy for me. This is something I spend a lot of time on. Guys, if you fucking put a post that says fuck Donald Trump or fuck Hillary Clinton, you've eliminated 50% of your audience when our audience is on tilt. You could have done that 13 years ago, and you would have lost 18% of the audience because there was 18% that were emotional. Everybody's emotional right now. But you could do it, but I promise you, if you're doing it on your personal page and on your business page, people will still find it. If you do it, you're in the game. And by the way, you may decide that the future of this country is more important than your business. And then if that's what you want to do and spit your POV on this, mazel tov, do it. But don't then be stunned when somebody doesn't want to do business with you. I love the audacity of that. Please understand that we are emotional right about our politics. It happens every 20 to 40 years. We're a very easy historical read as a country. And don't sit on your high horse. Now, that's politics. I also think religion falls into that. Race, sexism. Silly stuff like you're acting funny with your boys or you're having a girls' weekend in Vegas and you're scared to not show the professionalism. I think that's the reverse. I think too many of you are holding back your real life. That isn't, right? Mm-hmm. That isn't the 4 or 5 subject. You know what the 5 subject matters are. If you put a post tomorrow and says, girls can't sell homes as well as guys, you're in trouble, brother. That's not gonna play. But I do think a lot of you are holding back of a fishing trip with a couple of beers and like, people know you drink beer. People like I love when everybody was about, if you're like 30 in here, you remember the whole thing like, be careful of your social media. Like, like 25 is actually more right. Like parents were like, be careful because the college won't take you. Colleges knew that you fucking smoke weed. like, do you know what I mean? Like we overthink certain things. I think to your point, your personality traits, your real life really plays, reality TV really plays, I think, politics. Like, I'm so bent out of shape, not about people's political views, because you just pick one side or the other, then I just basically think everyone's the same. No. The audacity. Like, I can't believe, what do you mean you can't believe? People are so emotional right now. Are you not a citizen of our environment? People are on tilt. People are not talking to their family members right now. We are in a very high emotion, and you should lose business if you're not smart enough how to navigate that.
Can you use that to, I don't want to call it bait people in?
Nope.
No?
Like people can you use that to get more conversation around you? People think all publicity is good publicity because they're not thoughtful. Bad publicity is bad publicity. Harvey Weinstein's got more brand awareness right now than ever. It's not good.
Yeah.
So no, I don't think, there's so many there's 19 fucking thousand other things you should be doing than using politics to bait people into a conversation on your page with the hope that it sells you a home. Now, let's talk real life. This is a very local business. If you're in fucking deep 97% Republican or Democratic state, and that aligns with your passions, sure, you can. I mean, I think you should always speak your truths, but like, I think you have to be thoughtful. He can't do that. Because even though New York and California are considered liberal, the numbers show that it breaks up more to a 50-50 psychology. There are clearly pockets you can go all in if you want to. I just think there's so many, if you're doing it for business sense, not for your own, what you care about on earth sense, it's never a good idea. If you care more about this than your business, then you should live your life.
You know what's funny is $1 Million Listing has been on there for 7 years. Never once ever has someone come up to me to talk about real estate. Not once has anyone ever stopped me between Korea to Texas and said, remember that deal you did? You got that price per square foot. Holy shit. Never once. We talk about it on the show all the time. Like we talk with the crew,
yeah.
and we used to think so much about the type of deal. Now we're like, let's do this deal. I'm probably not going to sell this thing, but we should probably film it because this apartment's crazy. And that people come up to me and they're like, "Where's the pig? Where's the snake? Like what happened? Did you really fight him? Why'd you take your pants off?" Like that's what people care about.
Guys,
like that's what they care about. That's what they remember. That's
guys,
social media.
Guys, in the wine business, if you buy wine 9 out of 10 times because of the label or the score on the wine, and that's it. People buy on different things. Like it's always the story, or you turn the back of the label, and it's like, our dog ran through the vineyards and ate the grapes, and you're like, yeah, I love dogs. Like it's always the story. It's always the narrative. Yes, sir.
Hey, my name's Ross. I own a company called Bullet Nation. I'm in a real cutting edge industry. It's called it's a kava bar. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
Kava.
Kava. It's an alternative to alcohol. They're popping up all over the United States. Anyways,
Keep talking. What is it?
It's a drink from the South Pacific Islands. It's good for anxiety, depression, insomnia. They've been drinking it for thousands of years.
What's it come
from a pepper plant. It's a kava plant. They just take the root of the plant.
How's it spelled?
Kava.
Okay.
It's hospitality.
Anybody ever have any? Cool. Keep going.
It's great. It's got like a 1,500% ROI.
You mean the profit margin in it? Yeah, for now, because it's fucking new.
Yeah. My question is, about 2 months ago, I took a step, hired a full-time videographer, someone to work on all my social media. As far as a videographer standpoint, can you give me any tips that took you a while to learn the hard way as far as being in front of a camera, getting comfortable with it? Any words of wisdom?
Not for me. I do think, Ryan, you heard our talk earlier. I think he was right about like everybody can get better, right? I think it's gonna be reps. It's just putting the work in. Video 79 is going to be better than 17 and 84. Some people are charismatic and have it, and showmanship, and at 4 years old were born with it. Others, I just think it's about the reps, brother. Yeah. It's about the reps and not, people dwell. Make your fucking video, post it, and move on with your life. Not like, like people, like, I'm blown away where you're like, oh, my beard's, the lighting on my beard was off. Nobody gives a fuck about that. To your point, early analogy, everybody thinks about their things, like, oh, my makeup was off, or like, oh, who's that weird guy that walked by it? We should edit that. Nobody gives a fuck. The message. Got it? And so I think
tell the story.
Just tell your story, put out the rep, move on with your day. People are dwelling and overthinking. You will get there.
And you said earlier, even to me, which is a note that I take to heart, it's like I want to watch your stuff that's weird now. Like now I'm kind of like, man, I wonder if his videos are really awkward and like honest and real. Yeah, like I don't want to watch, there's so much polished stuff out there. Like I don't want to watch polish. I want to watch you like sneezing in pepper. I don't know how you make kava juice, but that sounds great, right? That sounds great. I mean, that's what you want to watch.
I would also say one thing. I would be very, very, very thoughtful in the product promise. I've been paying a lot. I think one of the ways I buy the New York Jets one day is by buying a business and then flipping it, right? On the machine that I'm building. I think a lot about the difference between buying Captain Crunch or K-Swiss or Tootsie Rolls versus getting into something like Kava. So I've been spending a lot of time reverse engineering why pomegranate juice worked, why coconut water worked, why these things work. I think just one random piece of advice that has nothing to do with the themes of today, do not overpromise this product, you will lose. So let me explain. If this is so great for depression, if there's one fucking person in the Pacific Islands of all time that is depressed, it doesn't fully work. Got it? Yeah. So just be thoughtful, because what America's really good at is when you promise, there's such a fine line of the actual promise and the actual promise, and if you as one of the early beacons, especially one that's producing content, overpromise, you can destroy the whole category. I'm being dead fucking serious. Be thoughtful, right?
Hey, what's up, Gary, man? Congrats on your success. Ryan, same thing.
Thank you.
I'm the one who asked you the question on the field earlier today.
Yes, you did.
And I'm not sure I 100% agree with your answer, but that
well, because
doesn't
he's
really
probably
matter.
wrong.
Hey, I agree to an extent. I think it's going to hurt a lot of smaller brokerages. I think some of the bigger ones may bring a lot more value. But I'd love to hear your answer to that question.
Go ahead, which is?
On 5 years down the road,
Yes.
what are you seeing? I mean, we're being disrupted. It's not,
brother, we're being disrupted, period. Not real estate, not like we. But keep going.
Got it. So when you talk to consumers, they feel they can go to any agent, for the most part, and get the same exact thing. So if I go to Gary for real estate, I go to David, I go anywhere, it's the same experience. How do we bring that value back? I think that's the biggest challenge we have, is the lack of value.
Well, there is a lack of value compared to other things. The value is the trust and the knowledge and the feeling. So for example, some people, like for example, I would never go with a broker based on the years of experience in a million years. Would never, ever cross my mind. Yet, a lot of people do. Other people do. So I think what's important is to have empathy and act that way as a person. Like, so the value is you in a 360. Like, some people may eliminate you because they don't like the way you said hello. Like, literally. Like, other people want to know the data. Very technical, like, but you've never sold anything that was $1,500 a square foot. Like, I just am fascinated by people not understanding that there are 30 to 70 human variables in choosing someone, and that you should figure out what your value props are, and you should sell on offense, not defense. Too many people try to win a deal by scaring that person away from the other alternatives, and they're playing defense. I think people should go on offense and should be on full attack of what makes them good, including, do you know what gets me every time? Hey bro, I want to do this business deal with you. I'm just a good person. Like when people say that to me, and if I believe them, and by the way, people say that to me because I put it out there and then I don't believe them. But like actually my relationship with him, I don't know, I've met his contemporaries, I meet a lot of people that look like him. Just our interaction at Pencils of Promise, our breakfast, like now I already know. Not much to go on, by the way. Not much to go on. I just know that I like him. I don't really know what else to tell you. Like, that's it. Like, literally, there's a weird chance that I may buy a very, very, very expensive townhouse on the Upper East Side from him, not because he's on the fucking show. I've met his friends on the show. Like, I just am fascinated that people think there's some move. There's no move. People make decisions based on people in every business, let alone a business like yours that is very deeply based on people. And if you're wearing a fucking Remax or a Weichert or a fucking, like.
So to that point, how are you getting out there? How are people becoming aware of you? So all the great stuff we're talking about today, if there's one thing we should be focused on, what would that be? What would you say?
Your truth.
Truth.
What the fuck are you about, Dave?
I'm about servicing people.
Good.
And creating the greatest experience.
Great. Go interview every single person you've ever serviced. Make a fucking 49-minute movie of 7,000 faces saying you were the best 13 years ago. That may work on somebody. Somebody else might like the fact that you actually, you know how many of these fuckers put out content all day long and then people reply and they don't answer because they think they're just in put the content out business? But the first person that they actually reply to is like, I like that guy. Do you know people have said that I'm a snake oil salesman and the only reason I'm successful is because daddy had a liquor store, and then I reply and tell them I built my daddy's liquor store for him and left with no money at 34, and then I'm the greatest person, but 4 minutes ago I was the dick face of the world? I mean, I don't, like, there's a million things. So like, what do you put out? Your truth. Like, I basically think you're all a comic book character. I want to know that you got bit by a spider, all the way to that you have a motion picture every day of the year, right? Like,
Yeah.
Got it?
Yeah, man. Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's go behind there. Yep. Pass it back, Dave.
Thanks, Gary. My name's Nick, insurance agent from Oregon, and my question is related to a big topic that you share about documenting versus content creating.
Yes.
And in an industry that I love and have a lot of fun in, but at the same time, I don't think has anywhere near that level of appeal to other people. What would you say to someone like me who really has a difficult time not producing or content creating and really just documenting what I would perceive or what I would say from other people's perception is a potentially really boring
Find the humor,
topic.
man. Sorry, not to cut you off, but
No, do your thing.
I think real estate used to be super boring. Like that's like 20 years ago, like real estate was not fun. It wasn't glamorous. It wasn't funny. It wasn't cool. It was you need a house, you find a house. Now everyone, because of TV, right, because of these shows, think that real estate could be awesome and huge. And people come up to me all the time and they say, I used to be pre-med and then I saw the show. Like, oh, what were you gonna do? They're like, well, I was gonna cure cancer, but now I'm a broker. Let's do it. Like, great. That's fucking awesome. It's kind of funny, right? It's kind of funny. I think that, like, I love the idea with Kava and with you the idea of having content for what you do and finding the humor in it. Because I'm sure there's shit that you see in the office all day long where you're saying, wow, that's crazy, but you think other people will think it's boring. People are gonna think it's humorous because they're gonna be right there with you on your same level. The hard part with me is everyone kind of sees TV appear and they hold this pedestal. So bringing things back down to reality and finding the humor there is then it's kind of hard, right?
I think that I'll take a slightly different twist on this. I think he's funny, and I think that's why he just gave you that answer. I know you're not funny, bro.
You just made me laugh.
Honestly, like there was no part of me that thought you were funny, right? Now let's break it down. I think he is, and that's why it comes natural to him. And even in the show, highly edited, it sneaks through, right? Because my wife watches the show, I work, I've seen a lot of the content through the backdrop. It sneaks through. This is back to what I gave Dave. You have to understand. My sister and mom and I were just eating outside, and we're like, man, 9 years ago, nobody was dressing down, nobody was cursing. I just did my truth, and then it came to me. Dude, you could be the most boring fucking insurance agent of all time, but if your information's on point, here's what I would say. If I'm buying insurance, if you just use the medium to get out there, maybe your audience is only 4,000 people at max, which is small, right? Maybe it's 140. You have to understand something though. What you sell, I have a fun, for me, kind of the boring guy who seems to know his shit when I'm buying my fucking life insurance feels a super interesting kind of debate versus the one that's trying to make it WWE, right? You gotta be you, bro. Now, to his point, you may be literally doing you, and the whole thing can turn into some weird version of Seinfeld funny because you're not funny, so not funny that the whole thing becomes fucking funny. Like, all of a sudden, millions of people are watching you be like, did you see this dude who literally has a show about just being an insurance agent and it's so fucking terrible? It's literally rubbernecking, we have to watch it? And then you're not funny coworker and the fucking UP, but then there's the things that come into what I call sports center newscasters and The Office. You may not be funny, you just might be educated. Your UPS driver that comes every week or every day may be a fucking riot. And always wanted to be an actor, but he's a fucking UPS driver, and the best part of his day now is coming to your office because he knows the camera's gonna be on, and he's fucking giving it his all. Like, guys, it's propaganda. It's media. It's how humans are conditioned. My mother in the back there wrote a book report that Fidel Castro was the bravest man in the world because he was so small next to big bad America. You know why? Because she grew up in the Soviet Union and that's what she was told. There's a reason that when people want to take over a government and have a coup, that the first thing they do is go to the radio station and TV station because they want to control the narrative to you. We are now in control of the narrative. That is a big deal. And so, do your fucking show or do what we're doing right now. I think Q&A show around insurance, again, to your point, is not gonna be fucking, American Idol. But guess what? If you answered 900 questions and build a library, and when I go on Google or YouTube, I type in like, how do I triple down on my life insurance, and your video pops up, content is the cost of entry to any relevance going forward, and you just have to live with David Hill in your truth. What do you put out? Your truth. You know why shit's so easy for me? People are like, wow, you're so good at speaking in it. I'm like, I'm just speaking, just telling you my truth. Look how I answered the WhatsApp question. I don't need to be the smartest guy in the room every time. I just talk about the shit I know. And then it gets real, real good. You get real, real narrow. I don't talk about shit anymore. Like I'm like real fucking narrow. Everyone's like, you're so fucking cocky, and you're always like, I'm like, yeah, because I'm talking about the 0.0001% that I know fucking so well, and then everything else I get real quiet. Like if this was a fucking insurance conference about nothing to do with comms and marketing around insurance, I'd be really fucking quiet. You got it, brother. Yes, ma'am. We're gonna pass you the mic. So dude, you're just really fucking funny.
I didn't mean humor like maybe Will Ferrell, I meant more like there are dramatic movies that have humor to them. Humor is levity, humor is interesting, humor is unique, and I just don't want you to write yourself off short and say you can't create content or do anything because you think people think insurance is boring.
But right? I think, look, to his point, humor is universal and historic, but so is information. Mm-hmm. But so is, drama. And so, like there's just so many things that are tried and true, and this is all very basic, but all you can, there's so much strength in quadruple downing on what you are.
Okay, so I only know about you maybe 5 months ago.
Okay, thank you.
What I really loved about you is that you are real.
Yes.
You use the F word a lot.
Yes.
I use too, but I get in trouble for it.
Yes.
But anyway.
You get in trouble because you're listening.
Right.
I get in trouble every day. Go read my comments. Somebody wrote a Medium piece, an article just went super viral on the internet 2 days ago called Gary Vaynerchuk is trying to kill you. And it speaks to me glamorizing hard work, and you're gonna, no, he really thinks I'm a bad person. He thinks me talking about work ethic, hustle, is leading to people working too much, and they should be spending more time meditating and relaxing.
Well, I forget the first video I saw of you. You were in a car and you were telling somebody outside, if they don't get it, just die.
She asked me for 3 words of motivation, and I said, "You're gonna die."
Yeah.
Which is actually technically
Which
4
is
words.
true. That is actual truth
I
in
know.
life. And if people would wake up and realize that it's a very short life that we live, and we're very lucky to be alive in this time with the medium, the platform that
Yes.
we have, that you bring it out for lots of people. So I heard you say you want to buy the jets. Is
Yes.
that your passion for what you do? Because you have an extreme passion.
On a very
for life.
micro professional level, the chase of buying the jets is a lot of fun for me. But I am very aware of my noble work is far more important than me buying the New York Jets.
I think you
That being
get a
said,
charge out of helping people.
yeah, look, I genuinely believe what I'm about to tell you. If I'm blessed with the health that allows me to stick around for 50 years, I will be one of the most impactful people of all time.
I believe it.
I just believe it. I don't know what else to tell you. I think
Yeah.
I understand. I think I understand communication better than you have to understand. All I am is Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali is the greatest because he understood how the media worked at the time, and he manipulated it and created a narrative, and then he called his shot. Do you understand what will happen if I actually buy the New York Jets? If I actually buy the New York Jets one day, in 400 years, there will literally be a religion around me. because thank you. And I'll tell you why. Through the serendipity of having great parents, not coming from much, and a million other variables, my intent is good. This is binary. You're either a good person or you're not. Guys, this is binary. And I'm just a great fucking person. And that's gonna allow me to do my thing.
If people get you, which they
Here's the best part.
will.
They're going to get me.
Absolutely.
Because I'm gonna fucking make
They'll
them
have
get
to.
me.
Absolutely. One other quick question. I'm getting started in real estate with Douglas Elliman, and I want to know what your recommendation is for what?
What the recommendation is?
to get started on, you know, that's why I'm
Where do
here
you work?
Well,
Sorry.
Palm Beach.
Palm Beach.
Yes.
You should find the best agent that you can, and you should work for them for free, right?
I believe in that so much.
Yeah, I tell everyone that, and then no one does it. So like
I believe in it so much.
That's why I kind of feel like I'll say it. I just don't know if you're going to do it. But and I understand that it's hard to work for free because you have bills and life. But even if it's just for 1% of one deal that they do, right? Just something small and insignificant, so that they can understand that you are so committed to them. And all I care about is just listen to how they talk, watch the emails they send, see how they structure their day, because being your own boss as a real estate agent who doesn't really create anything, we just sort of fuck with people in the head, right? You got to figure out how to build your day. Like what time you wake up, what time you go to bed, what do you do for lunch, who do you meet with, when should I look for buyers, when should I look for sellers, how do I follow up, what do I say when I follow up? Do I send an email at 10 a.m., 4 p.m.? Oh my God, and then all of a sudden you're nervous about your beard and the lighting, you know what I mean? Like you're so...
Your beard's fucking awesome,
But
bro.
it is, you're like this lion of awesomeness over here in my peripheral. But so I honestly, you meet 5 people every day, right? Which in this room, there's 50, 70, whatever it is. It's a lot of people. And you get their information, and ideally you don't take cards, you put it directly into their phone, and you send them an email, or you get them to send you an email so you have it, you log it into your database. 5 people times 365 days is something, that's like 10 million people, right? And now you're building up your network, and you're building up your database, and that's it. It's social currency, and working for someone for free until you don't have to. And then you'll do an open house for them, right? And someone's gonna come in, and they're gonna like it, and you're gonna convince them to make an offer because you both have something in common, whatever it is that your agent that you work for doesn't have. And then you're gonna be able to go back to him and say, listen, I think this person is gonna make an offer. Would it be okay with you if like I took 5% on this deal? And they're gonna say, holy, I thought you were gonna ask for like 50. Yeah, 5% sure, benchmark set. Going forward, everything you work on is 5%, which is this much, it's not this much. And you're going to get to a point where you're 50-50, and then you're going to start to say, I know I'm going to start my own thing, and that agent's going to be like, please don't. No, say, what do you want? I'll do whatever you want. Please don't leave, because you're going to be so ingrained in their life and how they work, but now you've taken the best, and you've left the rest, and you'll do your own thing. 5 people a day work for somebody.
Whoever gives more has the leverage. And this is what people don't understand. If Iris worked for me for free, she'd be ripping me off. Just so you guys know. I genuinely believe that. That is not to razz Iris. I know her. She's worked for me for a year and changed, what have you. I know so much about her psyche of when she came in to where she is now. It's not even close. By the way, this is an actual statement. I believe as college starts to become vulnerable in our country, that in 20 years, him saying go work for free for the #1 agent in Palm Beach, where you wanted to do it for the intent of the long term, which means your first year, you're actually working for free, not making pretend that you're working for free and trying to get something out of it. That literally in 20 years, that same agent, you're gonna pay her $30,000 a year to work for free. My friends, you have to understand what I'm about to tell you. I believe that the alpha winners, because the internet eliminates the middle, I believe that Iris will pay me $50,000 a year to do what she's doing right now for the last year, where I've been paying her that. I believe that will happen in 20 years. And people will say, what the fuck are you talking about? Until they realize that if I was sitting here 10 years ago and said, listen, let me tell you what you're gonna do with your 15-year-old girls. Your 15-year-old daughter, you're gonna ask her, you're gonna beg her to pay a premium to jump into a stranger's car to get around town. People of wealth would rather their children now have unlimited Uber because they feel safer for their 15-year-old girl to go in unlimited Uber than for her to drive the car themselves. If you look at the highest net worth neighborhoods now, it's not on your 16th birthday you get a Mercedes, you get unlimited Uber. Which means that people now feel more comfortable with their 15-year-old teenage daughter going to strange men's cars every day, multiple times a day. That is not a social norm a decade ago. I understand that it feels weird, which is why his advice is unbelievably good. To go and work for somebody for free. That's bullshit. What the fuck? You're worth what you get. I love when people are like, you're worth what you get paid. And so like ridiculous dumb shit that C players spit out of their mouth. The best players in the world are gonna get paid to have a workforce because that's the actual value in the trade. My man.
For the last bunch of years, we've talked a lot about kind of marketing in the year that it is.
Yes.
But it seems like there's been a shift in that strategy or that kind of belief of day trading.
Yes. For everybody that knows,
day trading attention.
My website used to say, I market in the year that I live in. Now it says, I day trade attention. Because what ended up happening was shit was starting to happen so fast. My concepts were changing even within the year. And so I needed a better way to communicate what I'm doing. And I think when you think about day trading attention, it's not even trading attention. Day trading's like, I don't do it, but I think I know what it is. You know, it's in the margins of every second. That's basically, I'm changing my point of view of Snapchat off of a feature that they're launching tomorrow or today. Like, you know, because now you can take your stories and put them out on Facebook and Twitter. So now all of a sudden, what's this move gonna be? Like, so this shit's just moving too fast. So go ahead.
And the reason I ask is I work with automotive dealers down
Yes.
here in Miami. So welcome to Miami,
Thank you,
home of
brother.
the Miami Dolphins.
I heard.
And they
I've been here for 4 games. The Jets have won 3.
There you go. They still
1972.
believe.
You guys haven't even won a Super Bowl, bro.
Well, I know this year we will.
We'll see.
They still believe in TV. That's their big thing. Put the
Of
dollars
course.
in TV. Take it out of experiential. Take it out of social. Put it on TV. We want the traffic today. So I think there's still a lot of people out there in
Tier
corporate
3
America
auto.
that still,
Tier 3 auto probably wastes the most money in marketing in America right now. Keep going.
And Tier 2, they spend, for the
Respect.
company that I work with, they spend $1 billion a year in Tier 2. $1 billion.
I get it.
Talking to the people that don't care.
I've never seen more money wasted than right now because shit changed so much. Keep going.
If you had a room full of those guys now, what's kind of the poignant thing that you could say to them to get them
Nothing,
off of the...
nothing different than you've been hearing from me. Brother, I'm in rooms with, look, this is an auto track, and next year we'll probably amp up our auto because we kind of let every track play out the way they did, and obviously there's way more real estate than other things, and there's reasons why that happened, and we'll keep evolving this event, but there will be 580 Tier 3 auto people at this event next year, right? And I'm gonna say the same thing I've said all day today, but you have to understand, and I speak at 15 auto conferences a year, and we've had Toyota as a client, and this, that, and the other thing. I've spent a ton of time with, car salespeople love me, and I love them, right? Ultimately, I don't give a fuck. Ultimately, I'm like trying to give my best advice. I know that they shouldn't be running television and print and outdoor to the allocation that they have, and they should be doing this, and I don't give a fuck. Ultimately, if they don't do anything, they literally think that the government's gonna stop Tesla from putting them out of business. Guys, just so you know, if your business right now in real estate is predicated on a law, you're on call. Like if you think you're winning right now, you feel good because you're not scared of technology because of a law. Laws change. I love how Tier 3 is like, oh, don't worry, we can't go direct to consumer. Until Tesla starts putting fucking Nissan out of business, and then Toyota and Tesla want the law to change because Toyota knows that they're next, the fucking market always wins. Tier 3 auto is already dead because Tesla actually exists. Once somebody shows you the alternative, it's already over.
Well, the space I work within is Tier 2, and that's even more dead. I mean, the regional marketing they all believe in TV, TV, TV,
I
and
get
that's
it, bro,
what
and
they
it's
want.
a board of fucking 8 tier 3 auto guys who think they're fucking hot shots and they love the fucking power and they fucking suck shit. But you guys have to understand, like here's my punchline. I'm putting out the best advice for free. I'm being selfish on my legacy for what I'm trying to do. It would make me super happy if they took me up on it, because let me tell you, getting 400 emails a day from people that tell you you've changed their life is intoxicating. You wanna talk about a drug that gets you through 18-hour days? Read fucking people that email you that they were homeless, but they had an iPhone, and now they make $400,000 a year selling shit from Baidu on Amazon because you taught them retail arbitrage. So I know what I'm doing, but ultimately, I don't give a fuck. Like if Bubba doesn't wanna fucking change his marketing, I can't wait for him to go out of business. The market is the market is the market. I like when I lose because it means I did something wrong. And you have to respect the game more than what you want for yourself. Two more? Okay, woman in the back, yep.
This is, I have my 17-year-old son here with me, so, we watch a lot and we love, learning a lot. What is your truth about?
Loaded question. What is the truth about college for children?
Are you gonna pay for his college?
Yes, I am.
Well then take your 4-year vacation, bro.
That's not the answer I wanted. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, look. I think, this, the college thing is very, very, very difficult for me. I wish I actually was a great student. I wish I went to Harvard because I think I could impact more people. I think most people think my point of view on college is because I was a shit student and went to a shit college and became successful. My point of view on college is based on unemotional math. The math is broken. We went through a 50, 60-year period where going to college was ROI positive. If you went to college and got a piece of paper, you would then be able to get the return on that investment because that's how the world worked, and we were in the era of corporations having the control. That does not exist. Do you need a degree for certain professions if you want to be a doctor, lawyer? I understand all that. But college is, will he become a well-rounded young man and like all the social things? Let him go tour fucking Europe for 3 months. He'll be way more well-rounded and worldly than sitting in a fucking dorm room playing fucking Call of Duty.
Well, you just won the war in our house. Thank you, Gary.
You're welcome. My man back here. Yes.
I'm a one-person business right now. Would you place more emphasis on me hiring more of an employee base or trying to grow my social media base if I have the money to do one or the other?
Employees. You got to build. You don't worry about decorating this room until you have the concrete and the steel that holds up this room, and that is employees. Because then you'll start being able to focus on smarter shit, right? But you've got to fire fast if it's wrong. Because the reason people get caught when they don't have enough money and they go employees is they hold on to something that's not bringing them value because they picked the wrong employee. So as long as the answer, I believe employees. Part two, if you don't see like you're getting value after 100 days, 120 days, and when you're interviewing, you should be upfront with people like, hey, my business is at a place where I'm gonna really fucking audit you in the first 3-4 months. I don't wanna hear at day 100, I'm just still getting my shit together. That's a lot of other people's businesses. My business on this day right now is I need to see whatever the fuck you're looking for quick. Do you understand? That's what I would do. My man.
Real quick.
Last one.
So I own a commercial real estate brokerage company in New York. I went into vlogging
We're gonna give you a
year ago.
Commercial real estate
Commercial
in New York.
real estate
You
in
went
New
into
York.
vlogging a year ago.
Vlogging, yeah, I have a 4-person team now that's filming most of my brokers, so
Yeah.
it's been tremendously effective. And my question to you is, how do I get more of my agents to actually get involved in the videos, in their social media?
You don't. You put
don't.
pressure by showing that it's working, and then bring in new people to eat their lunch, and then got it?
Yeah, so
You
either
don't-
they have it or they don't, or they're
My
interested
biggest
or they're not.
thesis on all life at some level is you can't sell the unsellable. I sell nobody. It was back to me telling you just now, I don't give a fuck. Do it and let the pressure of the results create the narrative. When the winner right now in your commercial real estate starts seeing somebody that they think is a loser start doing more deals, they're gonna be like, wait a minute, fucking Rick, right?
Everybody's concerned with their image out in the universe. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a big, they're not comfortable. And I think
get-
that's a big loss for them as a broker.
And I think what people are going to understand. So, do you know what my biggest theory is right now on all of this sexism and calling out everybody? Is in a 50-year macro, we're going to all realize that we're all flawed, and everything that's taboo will be far more accepted. And we're going to be. I think this is one amazing step backwards. That's going to lead to two incredible steps forward, because there's not a single person in this room that doesn't do something that we think is taboo in society. So great, you don't sexually harass, but you have a drug problem. Oh great, you don't have a drug problem, but you have a gambling problem. You have infidelity, you're stealing. Like, there is no perfect human. And as we start exposing issue by issue because of the way the internet now works and you can't hide, Harvey Weinstein and Matt Lauer were protected by the media. By the three old white guys that killed all the investigative stories to ever see the day of life. Now, what the fuck are you doing right now? There's no hiding.
I'll show them this video, hopefully.
That's right. So here's the punchline. All the fuckers right there that aren't doing anything about it, they think they're being fancy and smart and holding up a facade, and they are literally in the process of becoming irrelevant. Show them that.
They're invisible.
They're fucking invisible.
Were those four people there before you started this, though?
Yeah, no, a year ago, I started holding this thing on my own.
Yeah.
About 3 other brokers that get it started doing the same.
Yeah.
So we pass our 3 cameras around a year ago, and we edit the footage and put it out on Fridays, so once a week. It's since grew to people coming to me, I can help you, I can do this better than you, young creatives, and now we have a four-person team.
I like the idea that you talk about you bring in new blood, right? You bring in, because it's the older agents they don't need it, right? They knew you before. And like we have that on my team. Like I pushed against vlogs for a long time, and we just launched ours an hour ago at 1 o'clock, by the way. So yeah, you should subscribe. It's a new medium for me. I like being polished and edited in LA. It's great. And a lot of agents are like, I don't know. And so I just started bringing in more people who know me now, and they're all about it. And then the older agents do the same thing. They're like, Rick's not going to do anything. And then Rick closes a $30 million deal in Nolita, and they're like, all of a sudden, then I see them with like their flip cam from 10 years ago. And they're like, no, I can do it too. I'm like, okay, great. Welcome to the party. Let's go.
In times of massive disruption, and please understand the maturity of the internet right now is massive disruption. In times of massive disruption, success is your vulnerability. And that's what's happening. Got it? Like, I'm just obsessed with that. Love you guys. See ya.